Hey, this is Michael with All Access Card Shop, and we're with.
Joel Bresser.
And what'd you do this weekend?
Saturday, I got third place at Minneapolis Regional, playing Ryzeal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Big shout outs to Michael behind the camera and Mitchell Drake for helping me with testing, deck theory, everything. Shout out to our group that we went with. We got 4 spots out of top 20, so
Nice.
as a collective, we did pretty good. And shout out to All Access locals in general, like best locals in Wisconsin. It's pretty much like a regional environment every single week. So yeah, that helps.
All right, awesome. Let's get into it.
Alrighty. So yeah, for the main deck, play 3 ice. Best card going first. 3x. Best card going second. 3 sword. Best extender probably, and then 1 node. I think this is pretty much the bare minimum. It's pretty non-negotiable. There's a world where you could play 2 node if you're playing Pot of Desires, but like I think that's kind of not needed. Like if you banish it off Desires, like it is what it is, honestly. And then you have to max out on these 3 names. And then for the other starters, play 3 Bonfire. So you have 12 hard starters. It's bricky, but I don't know. All you really need to do is see 1 card, and you're there. And then the rest, 1 cross, 1 plugin. Did not main deck the trap. I think that card is kind of win more game 1. And then there is also a world where you can play 2 cross, but it's like okay to draw, but it like doesn't help really push your initial plays through. And then plugin is like a god card. Basically this deck has like infinite grind game. If you can keep cross on board, you can just keep putting back plugin and node, and then you just have everything you need in the grind game. And then other consistency cards, play 3 desires and 1 prosperity. I hate this card personally, but it's better than Small World. And we don't have 7th Tachyon yet, and we only have 1 prosperity. So you kind of have to play desires. And then prosperity, I mean, it's a sacky one of, but it's still kind of a god card, so it's like, why not play it? Then all the non-engine. I actually main decked 6 Charmies.
How's that?
The math made sense. I think it was like a 60% chance to see 1 if you're playing 6. And I actually saw one or the other game 1, 5 out of 8 rounds. So 5 out of 8 is like 63%. So like math's mathin'. It just kind of sucks because I won my first 4 die rolls and lost my last 4 die rolls. And my first 4 rounds, I saw one of these cards going first, and then the latter half of the tournament, I only saw 1 once. But it was good. The math was there. These cards are insane. I don't know how I would feel about main decking Perulia moving forward, just because of the ban list and whatnot. But I mean, for Minneapolis, we didn't have the ban list, so I still played them. Then the rest, play 3 Ash, 3 Valor, and 3 Imperm, and 2 Nib. These are just like the best generic ones. I really don't like Nibiru. But it's this weird thing where like I don't want to side 3, and it checks pretty much everything else except the mirror. They kind of have to play into it really hard in the mirror. Because obviously Ryzeal Cross is kind of a god card. But yeah, I don't really know how much I would change. I would probably just think about changing the Perulias out for like some ogres or something like that. And then the MVPs of the weekend, 3 cross out, 1 called by. I swear I probably saw cross out in about 75% of my opening hands, and it just let me play like so free, and it was awesome. It was like I didn't really have to worry about anything. Because even if it was like they did have 2 hand traps for my duo drive, it's like, okay, well, I just force you to use 2 cards. And not a lot of decks can beat Detonator Pass. I will just say that. So yeah, 40 in the main. I don't really think you need to go over if you're playing pure.
Gotta love to see it.
Then the extra deck, double duo, double detonator. This guy, he is the messiah. I love this guy. There were a lot of times when I would get like my duo drive hand trapped or something like that and have to extend and just try and stick a detonator pass and back it up with non-engine. And it worked like a lot. I think there's a world moving forward where we actually do play 3 detonator. I think the Kashtira engine in Malice is going to get a lot more popular, and then obviously like the Fiendsmith Kashtira hand trap pile, like that's still worrisome. So yeah, Kashtira Unicorn is a hell of a card, and yeah, I could see playing 3 moving forward. I probably won't for the foreseeable future. If it gets like super duper mainstream, then definitely. And the best card in the extra deck, 2 Meteorologic Aggregator. This card is crazy. If you are playing into a Ryzeal board and you open X, like that just puts on like so much pressure just by that one card.
How often was the second one like really good?
The second one actually came up quite a bit. I think 2 is pretty mandatory. The second one is like insane for the grind game. I think once Supreme Darkness comes out, we won't need 2, but until then, that's still a couple months away. I don't think there's a reason to not play 2. So yeah. And then the toolbox, play Dugaris. Outside of Detonator and Duo Drive, this is probably the card that I summon the most. Being able to draw 2 and like manipulate your hand is like crazy, especially when you're such a heavy non-engine deck. Abyss Sweller. The theory behind this card was really good, considering I was expecting to see a lot of fire. I didn't play any fire, actually. So I never actually summoned this card, but there were a reasonable amount of graveyard decks in the room. So like I'm glad I had it. It just like never came up because I was Detonator Pass with non-engine was getting me pretty far ahead to the point where I like never needed like an auto win button against a lot of decks.
Yep.
Exciton Knight. I mean Zeus at home, honestly. I think Exciton Knight is also like just significantly better in this deck in comparison to Zeus. There's a lot of times you just like don't really have the opportunity to summon Zeus, but I mean Exciton Knight's the boy, so he's kind of just hanging out. Tornado Dragon. I summoned Tornado Dragon a couple times. It's like not bad. I mean it's quick effect back row removal, so it's like you can't really go wrong with that. Baguska. I summoned Baguska like 2 or 3 times. I mean it was alright. I didn't like really have to utilize it to like its full ability, like if you like set up like a demon board with like Detonator Baguska. But yeah, I mean it wasn't that bad. The card that came up most for me actually outside of Dugaris was Light Dragon, just like trying to like kill people. Like if you like nib them or something like that, or they have like a house that you can out, or if it's like you like need to clear the one guy in order to game them, it's like Light Dragon, just pop it. The hidden effect actually came up like once or twice, 2 over the weekend, which I thought was really funny. So yeah, the rank 4 toolbox, it was like, I'm glad that everything was there. I just like didn't really have the opportunity to like utilize it to its like full ability, pretty much. And then Typhon, I summoned Typhon like 2 or 3 times. I think with the way that this deck plays, like this card is almost mandatory. It's really good in this deck too, because basically the goal of Ryzeal is just to like simplify the game state, because in simplified game states your engine is just so much stronger than every other engine. And obviously Typhon is like a god card in simplified game states. So yeah, I'm glad that I had that. I play the 1 Zeus. I summoned this card a grand total of 0 times. And I never had an opportunity where I could summon it, and I never had an opportunity where I wanted to summon it. So I don't think I'll be playing Zeus moving forward. I just think it's like a little bit too inconvenient for the deck personally. And then I play the 1 Donner. I play Nib. I don't want to be in awkward game states where I have an X as like my only play, and I can't use it because I would have a Nib or a Nib token or something like that. It also comes up in the mirror. If you need to out your opponent's Baguska, you just Donner and blow it up. So that's pretty good. But yeah, overall the extra deck, I mean, it was pretty good. It's just like Detonator is like so good into like the entire format that it's like I didn't need a ton of cards. Then the side, I sided the 3rd Nib. I was making a read on Fire again. Malice loses pretty hard to this card unless they just like open a God hand. I played against no Fire, I played against no Malice, so I didn't really side the Nib in too much. Then play 2 Ghost Ogre. This was pretty much for the mirror. Ogre's also just like a relatively generically good hand trap this format, surprisingly. So it was like, it felt weird leaving these off, so I didn't. And I was siding them in a lot. Obviously, they're really good in the mirror. If you can Ogre like Malice Link 2s, you can like Ogre the Tenpai Field spell, you can Ogre Deception, so on and so forth. I'm glad it was there. It came up quite a few times, actually. I played 3 Lancia. Again, I played no Malice, so these cards sat in my deck box all day. But yeah, I think these will be a hot commodity moving forward. Pretty much everybody will be playing them. Then I played 2 Storm and a Duster. I never saw the Duster. I saw Lightning Storm a few times, and every single time I saw him, it was pretty good. I actually got anti-spelled once when I drew a Lightning Storm into set 4, so that wasn't really cool. But every other time, Lightning Storm, good card. Definitely better than Cosmic Cyclone in this format. I think Cosmic Cyclone's kind of trash. And I swapped Lightning Storms in for Cosmics last second, so I'm kind of glad I did that. The MVPs of the side deck this weekend, 2 Thrust, and then 2 Barrier, and the DDG. Thrust was really crazy. I actually saw it quite a bit too, so maybe I was just sacking and high rolling, but whatever. Yeah, Thrust for Barrier, Thrust for DDG. If you're playing into a board, I didn't side in Thrust going second too much, but like theoretically it's like Thrust for Bonfire, if you're out of plays. Yeah, I mean, I think Thrust is like a really, really good card this format. D-Barrier, obvious. There's Ryzeal, there was Tenpai. I probably crossed D-Barrier out like 3 or 4 times this weekend. Like, it was really good. And then Different Dimension Ground actually got me there in the end. My opponent, I played Mermaid last round, and I did not have playable. My opponent Perulian me in draw phase. I thrusted for DDG, and I just passed, and I was like, okay, hopefully it gets me there. It did, and then I drew playable off top. And I just won. It was pretty awesome. And then last card, Plasma Hole. I think I quick exceed once. I used the on-field effect like 2 or 3 times, so like that was cool, I guess. I just don't know how necessary this card is. I think this card gets a lot better if people kind of progress to a more like board breaker heavy build of whatever deck they're playing. But as long as we're in like a hand trap format, I think this card's kind of just win more, honestly. Obviously, it's like it's not good to draw going first or second, so it's like you kind of do already have consistency issues, so it's like why add more consistency issues than you already have? To me, it was just kind of pointless, so I sided it. and it never really came up for me, so I don't know if I'm going to be playing it too much longer or at all, to be honest. So yeah, that was the deck.
All right. Any last words?
Nah, dude, just again, shout out All Access, man.
All right.
We reign supreme.
Sounds good. See you in Milwaukee.
Thank you.